you ever been bursting at the seams, full of ideas? You start them with all this energy, but somewhere along the way, doubt seeps in, failure discourages you, and overwhelm drains every last bit of your creative spirit? I've let fear and self-sabotage keep me stuck and inconsistent for too long, and that ends today. Well, maybe we'll start tomorrow.
If only DIYing was just like the movies.
Don't you wish your ideas could magically come together like outfits in Cher's closet?
Okay, don't judge me. If we're being honest, I think we'd all prefer to be in our favorite rom-com where all our DIYs work out perfectly and there's only a cute amount of failure. What's that? I've been working on this video idea since May and it's still not done. Oh yeah, okay, the script ends right here, so it looks like I will be dealing with my constant cycle of self-sabotage today. What would Lara Jean Covey do?
Whenever I get stuck and can't seem to start or finish anything I want to create, I go back to this letter that I wrote myself. Dear Stuck Creative. Scratch that. Dear Creative, you spent enough time crying in your car, grieving where you thought you'd be. You can't keep crying about having a lot on your plate when your goal was to eat. You've survived 100% of your hardest days, even the ones you wanted to give up entirely. The darkest seasons built resilience and strength in you, and every time you failed and kept going, it built perseverance. And every time you followed through and didn't quit, it built confidence. That alone is reason enough to keep going right now. It may not work out the first, the second, the third, or even the fourth time. But when you persevere, when you get to a finished project that you're proud of, it will literally make you feel like you can do anything. And while we love a go conquer the world confidence boost, that doesn't mean you should do any and everything. I know you've been dreaming up big things, but sometimes it feels like you have more ideas than you can keep up with, so you find yourself spinning in place and end up doing nothing at all. And sometimes you know exactly what you need to be doing, but your fear of the unknown and idol of certainty are keeping you stuck. Today is the last day you abandon your creative dreams in exchange for your comfort zone. The things you are dreaming of are on the other side of the work and discomfort you're avoiding. And you know avoidance is just prolonged suffering disguised as safety. Okay, but why are you yelling?
I'm yelling because I need to be louder than the negative self-talk that has you doubting yourself and dimming your own light.
From now on, we're filtering all our brilliant ideas through this framework. When a new shiny idea comes and reinvigorates your creative spirit, capture it and then ask yourself these questions. Is it aligned with your purpose? Do you have the time, capacity to start this right now? Follow up, have you finished the last big idea you came up with? Do you have the skill set required to do it with excellence? If not, what skills do you need to learn? Am I using this as a distraction from the work I'm avoiding? Bonus points if it gets us closer to financial freedom so we can stop doing soul-sucking jobs to survive. Once you have your answer, either add it to your creative focused time block or capture it in Notion so we can come back to it when the timing is right. Now that we've got our focus back, we have to deal with the other F word, our fear of failure. You have to commit to a few things and complete them. You can't afford to wait until you feel motivated. You have to get yourself in motion. Create even if it's imperfect, even if it's terrible. Fail as often as possible.
Whenever you feel like clinging to your comfort zone, go back to this quote from Ira Glass. There's a gap for the first couple of years that you're making stuff, and what you're making isn't so good. It's not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people, they quit. What I would say to you is everybody goes through that. If you're going through that right now, if you're just getting out of that phase, it's totally normal. The most important possible thing you can do is do a lot of work. Do a huge volume of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week or every month you know you're going to finish one story. Because it's only by actually going through a volume of work that you're actually going to catch up and close that gap. And the work you're making will be as good as your ambition. God didn't give you all these gifts to keep them hidden from the world. I need you to unload the clip. God created you for a unique purpose, and that purpose wasn't for you to shrink yourself and downplay your brilliance. He blessed you in this way so you could glorify Him and serve others. I know how hard you can be on yourself, and I know how much you overwork trying to survive to the point you have no energy left to create. So you end up consuming more than you create. When you're in that frozen state and you feel like scrolling to dissociate, here are a few things you can do instead. Whatever it takes, drag yourself out of bed and get yourself outside and go on a walk.
Pray fervently. Go back through old prayer journals to remind yourself what God has already done and the valleys He's walked with you through and brought you out of. Reflect on scriptures like 1 Peter 4:10 and Romans 8:28 that remind you of who you are and why you're here. Write your morning pages to process self-doubt and any negative self-talk. Whether you need to scream, cry, vent, or let the creative ideas flow, these pages will get you mentally unstuck every time. And I've found that combining all three brings me out of a dark place much faster.
Actually go on your artist date. Don't just put it on the calendar. Carve out that alone time that's just for you. Learn something new that's low effort and low stakes. Reconnect with community. Don't let shame creep in. Tune out those nasty voices that tell you should be further along and replace them with the loving voices of your community that lift you up and help you keep going. And without fail, dancing all out to a 2000s girly pop playlist will always get you in a better mood. I know how tempting it can be to cling to what feels like the safe path when the uncertainty of creating can feel like a risk that will never pay off. But God created you to create for a reason, and the assignment God gave you could be connected to someone else's breakthrough. So the next time you think about letting yourself off the hook and shrinking away from your creative calling, remember, the world needs who you were made to be. Although this video was inspired by To All the Boys I've Loved Before, unlike Laura Jean Covey, this is a letter I do want delivered. So I hope it leaves you feeling loved and encouraged to start creating again, because the world needs your creativity.